Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Now, here's Jay Tust and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Sorry for the tardiness. That is 100% Jay Tust's fault that we are late starting the show today. But no, it is not Jay Tust's fault. Jay, it's my fault. I'll take the blame. Had a lot of stuff going on this morning, getting the kids off to the bus, and just one of those mornings, and you look up and it's 8:58, and I wasn't ready yet. So we're starting a few minutes late. Better late than never, though. I apologize. My fault, Jay. And it had been a while since you had to send me I don't have the link text yet.
It has been, yeah.
I used to kind of forget to send it to you, and then I'd be saying, well, where's Jay? And then, I never sent him the link to join. But
considering the chaos of the last month, though, man, that's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, but we're here, and apologize again for being late. But this is Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com. Jay Tust, Sports Director at KTVB, for the regular Tuesday appearance, the first of his 2 weekly appearances. Also, you can hear Jay on Fridays, and we got a lot to talk about as the offseason officially begins for the Boise State men's basketball team, I guess, for college basketball today. I think there may be some more clarity on that roster in the next little while, which, may have been one of the reasons I'm late. No comment, but, we're it's going to be an interesting time here, Jay, because they've already got the point guard. They're looking to fill the other spots they have on the roster. There could be another guy leaving. There's a lot of movement still to go, but, they've only added one player to this point, and you look up at like Jeff Borzello's early top 25 for next year, and he has Boise State essentially number 26, the first team that he didn't put in the tournament.
Right.
And that's with, 3 additions still to make. That someone like Jeff Borzello that covers the sport, and a lot is going to change. There's so many teams that are going to add players, lose players, but essentially he's looking at what they have coming back in Max Rice, Degenhart, and Chibuzo Abo, and adding Roddy Anderson, and a national, prominent college basketball writer already has Boise State essentially as a borderline top 25 team. So you would assume they're only going to add some guys and move up. And I guess I kind of buried the lead. I did want to talk San Diego State as well. They fall in the title game, but it is time now for Boise State to move forward. And, with these last 3 spots, I think that they could, really, really put together something on the level of what Leon Rice wants and when he talked about that super team.
Right, and now that the season is officially over with the national title game wrapping up last night, you're exactly right, BJ. You're going to see a lot of moving and shaking in the transfer portal. Not just here in Boise, but really around the country. I think there's a lot to be excited about with what Boise State could potentially do here in the next couple of weeks. And it seems like it's getting closer and closer to really feeling the needs that they have. And that was the 1 and the 5. And so after they do that, they can now start to kind of really meticulously shape their roster, 6 through 10 or whatever. And that was obviously a huge need for this team. There is a huge need for this team to improve as they move into next season and try to make a run at a third straight NCAA tournament berth. And so As you kind of said, maybe another move because, and this is the nature of the transfer portal, regardless of where you are, BJ. If a team has a spot opened up, and they can add a certain player, sometimes that impacts another player, and somebody on the roster might move on or whatever it is. And so that's all wait and see at this point, by the way. But it's just the nature of the transfer portal around the country, regardless of where you are. We've seen it countless times. And so Boise State definitely has a chance to continue to upgrade their roster. Roddy Anderson was a great start, man. And so we'll see the next chip to fall. But it's crazy how fast things move these days, BJ, and how quickly you can go from outside the top 25 to inside the top 25 or inside the top 25 to outside of it, for that matter, too. It works both ways.
Yeah, and again, for them to only have, the point guard in the fold, to not have a big man yet, and to still have, essentially 3 open scholarships, a lot you would think to still be added to this roster, and to already be number 26 in the country by Jeff Borzello of ESPN, I think speaks volumes to the track record they're building at Boise State, what Leon Rice is doing, just the fact that now it's at a point where you got to trust Leon Rice that they're going to put a team together that's going to be competitive in the Mountain West and around the country now.
Yeah, the thing about there have been like some subtle things that you feel like Leon is done too when it comes to recruiting that have probably put this program in a better spot, right? Like his involvement last year with the U18 national team, this year with the U19 national team. We talked a little bit about that last week, BJ, when it was announced that Rice was going to be an assistant on the U19 team. These are all things that put him in circles and allow him to make connections that if they don't benefit Boise State immediately, might be able to, rope back around and do it down the road. Cade playing it when he went over to his academy in the Midwest, Cade Rice, Cade was playing with some really, really good basketball players, right? And I don't know how many times Leon got to go watch his boy, but I would assume he had a front row seat to some really good basketball players too. So these are all things that have really allowed Boise State to subtly take another step in recruiting. And I can only assume at some point in time it's going to pay off, especially with that U19 national team. But he's working, man. I guess that's my point. Like, he is working.
Jordan says the men's basketball offseason begins today. It'll go by faster if you follow the spring sports. You got beach volleyball and softball having shot at NCAA tournament bids. Yeah, there are a lot of spring sports obviously still going on, Jay. You got a couple gymnasts also were picked for the national team as well. Dustin's saying, Will Baker entered the transfer portal. I would not expect Will Baker to transfer from Nevada to Boise State. I would suspect he's looking for a bigger opportunity, but you never know. You never know. Did Max start as a walk-on? Yes, Max Rice was originally a walk-on, but now he has obviously earned that scholarship, and that is kind of funny. You always hear people, Jay, there's even some haters still on Twitter that feel like he's stealing a scholarship, and he gets a discount because his dad's an employee at Boise State, so they should just have his dad pay for him, and all this. It's like, the dude's one of the best players in the Mountain West. He shouldn't have to be considered a walk-on just because his dad has some money. I get it both ways. And if they have the perfect fit, Leon has said, if the circumstance was there and they needed the scholarship, they could do that, and go back to that. But it's why should he be penalized and be called a quote walk-on because his dad has some money, and is an employee of the university? If he's good enough to be a scholarship player, he should be on scholarship.
I don't give time of my day to people that want to argue.
I wish I didn't. You're a stronger man than I am, man.
Just because I don't need to argue that one way or the other. It's stupid. Max Rice, he's going to get player of the year or preseason player of the year votes next year, along with Tyson Degenhart. They'll probably split a bunch of votes. I don't give the time of day to people that want to argue Max Rice is good enough to play at this level, because the kid put together an unbelievable season this last year. If you wanted to make this argument 2 years ago, even a year ago, I might listen to you, but the way that kid improved, the toughness he showed, there is no chance that Boise State is an NCAA tournament NCAA tournament team this year without Max Rice on the team. There would have been zero chance of that happening.
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's funny because I mean, it's still to this day you get some people saying, "Oh, he should." It's selfish of him to take one of the scholarship spots and all this stuff, and it's just like, come on, are we still?
No, he absolutely deserves one. He made one shining moment.
He did make one shining moment, and he was the almost sole reason, if you really want to be honest, that they beat that San Diego. You know, they were the last team to beat San Diego State prior to the tournament with his crazy run. I think he finished with 26, but what he did late in the game with some of those threes.
Like a 13-14-0 run by himself.
You're not
you look at the toughness of that San Diego State team, man.
You're either the biggest troll or you're just not paying attention if you want to hate on Max Rice at this point.
Yeah. That one shining moment, though, gosh, that had flashbacks to sitting courtside, BJ, and that in Sacramento. And when he hit that three, it was with 3:05 left in the first half. They used a very quick clip of it in one shining moment.
They didn't even show it going in. They just showed him shooting it. But
right. When he hit that three, though, that was like the moment where I was like, I looked over at Brady and said, "Oh, damn, Boise State's going to win this game." I mean, like it finally felt like they had found their footing, found their rhythm, and then literally 32 seconds later, Marcus Shaver goes down, doesn't get up, needs to be helped off the court, and what two just massive swings of momentum in a 32-second stretch of time. I mean, that was tough. I guess it was 28 seconds. Excuse me. I'm not doing math right there.
Perry's asking about what's next in terms of the commitments and things like that. Don't really want to, steal kids' thunders and all that kind of stuff. So we'll. You finished out the math. What's the math?
Yeah, it's 32 seconds. I'm all over this morning.
Okay. Not going to steal kids' thunders. They, kids leaving, kids going. It's their announcements to make. So we'll see. But there could be some news on the basketball front in the next couple of days. I think is a good bet on that. Just so stay tuned to some news for them. I do want to talk about San Diego State briefly, though, Jay, and kind of what that game and then what that means for them and the Mountain West moving forward. But do want to thank a couple of our sponsors here. Cutwater Spirits. We're in the mobile studios, more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Let them do the work. Pre-made premium cocktails ready for you today from Cutwater Spirits. Rowpaint.com, that concrete coating 4 times stronger than epoxy. It's ready to go for you. The one-day install. Schedule your free estimate, your free appointment, roepaint.com. Your concrete coatings for your back patio, your garage, your basement. Transformational. Highly recommend it. Done it myself. roepaint.com. Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out. LithiaFordBoise.com for the full inventory of vehicles. They will buy your used vehicle even if you don't buy from them. But the Raines family couldn't be happier with our F-150, and you will as well. They'll be providing the hole-in-one. They'll be providing the Bronco Sport to Jay Tust when he gets the hole-in-one at the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament here on June 2nd. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com, the best in mobile e-branch online banking. Check them out, ICCU.com. More than 500,000 Idahoans have made the switch. You can too. Find a branch near you, but you only have to go in once because you go in to sign up, and then you never have to go back because you can do it all on your phone or on your computer. ICCU.com. You looking for a new job? How about TCS? Get in the trucking industry. It's a booming industry right now with the pandemic. Transcompservice.com. They can help you out every step of the way to get you out there towing that first load in no time, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, every kind of delivery service in between. Let Transcomp Service take care of the permits and things for you. Get more information. Sign up today, transcompservice.com. And the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. They're still offering free shipping on any order over $40. You can go into the Blue and Orange Store as well at the Boise Town Square Mall. Get all that NIL shirts for Degenhart, for all the football players. Get ready for the spring game on Saturday with some new Boise State gear. And again, if you're not in the area, go online, theblueandorangestore.com. Jay, final was 76-59 last night. San Diego State falls to UConn. It was an exciting game, and they were kind of kept at arm's length for most of the game, but there was a steal and a bucket, and they get it to 6, and then a couple of free throws. They end up getting it to 5 with about 5-6 minutes to go in the game. All of a sudden, San Diego State's only down 5, and you're like, are they going to do another one of these crazy miracle second-half comebacks? But UConn comes down, hits a huge dagger 3, and went on a run and finishes the game and wins by 17. But kudos to San Diego State. Hell of a game, hell of a season. Their roster is going to look a lot different next year, but I would expect they're still going to be pretty darn good. I'm sure a lot of the high-level transfers would love to go live in San Diego and play for a team that played in the national championship game. And, they can sell the Pac-12 invite probably coming as well. What's your take on San Diego State, man, and the game last night?
It was the best season that any men's basketball program has ever had in the 24-year history of the Mountain West Conference, and it's not even close. Regular season champs in the Mountain West, tournament champs in the Mountain West, and they were one victory away from winning a national championship. I mean, BJ, that's a run that I don't know if will ever be duplicated again by a Mountain West team. I will say this, though, is that San Diego State showed it's possible for a Mountain West team to do it. So it was I had a feeling like last night, like, as good as San Diego State had played up until this point, you just kind of had the feeling that they were running into a juggernaut, a team in UConn that had just been blasting teams throughout the NCAA tournament. And it ended up being a 17-point differential with UConn on top of that thing. And in terms of their sheer dominance, UConn won every single game at the NCAA tournament by at least 13 points. For a March Madness that, for me personally, I'll always remember for the parity that we saw, Princeton upsetting Arizona, the run by FAU, Furman knocking off Virginia. There was just an awesome amount. San Diego State, there was an awesome amount of parity in college basketball at this March Madness. And despite the fact that's what might be the lasting storyline, UConn was as dominant as any team we've really seen at the NCAA tournament. Just no game of theirs was really close. You mentioned that San Diego State climbed within 5 last night, but UConn was able to distance themselves out as you could see San Diego State just run out of gas offensively. I think they missed 8 out of their last 9 shots from the field. But I was looking this up last night because I don't know why this is where my brain goes. Going back to Basketball Reference, and you can see back as far as the 2011 NCAA tournament. So since the 2011 NCAA tournament, only Villanova had a greater net point differential for an NCAA tournament than UConn. UConn outscored their opponents by a combined 120 points. This March Madness, UConn in, I think it was 16, outscored their opposition by 124. So, but I mean, you look at the teams that UConn had to go through too. It's not like they got many patsies along the way, if you will.
No, not at all. I mean, and the bracket breaks the way it does, and they played 2 WCC teams, right? St. Mary's and Gonzaga, I believe. And got Iona in the first game, but
yeah.
UConn was, for the last month and a half, the number 1 team in the country, and they were number 1 in the metrics most of the season. Right. Got to number 1 in the polls, had a rough kind of couple of weeks, and then locked it back in. And as Sam says, there was no stopping UConn this year. But you look at San Diego State, and Perry says they had the depth to make that run. What do you make of, I guess, what San Diego State proved in terms of the depth that's needed, the quality of players that's needed? I mean, they had guys like Orope and Seiko and some of these guys that were, would be starting on a lot of teams coming off the bench. And you look at their minutes played, and we talked about it, I think, last week or the week before, Jay. But they got 8 or 9 guys averaging like upwards of 20 minutes a game. What do you think Boise State did learn? I mean, you were there with me. I think it was just us. Maybe Jordan was there talking to Tyson Degenhardt after the game, and he mentioned San Diego State. They had the depth to make a run, and that's something that we need to try to do. And that was, in the first game of the tournament. So what do you think in terms of Leon Rice building this super team or what he wants to build? Obviously, you want to have a strong starting 5, but it seems like to make a run like a San Diego State, you've got to have more than 5-6 players you can count on.
Well, I think we think about this on such a game by game level, right? Like we think oh man, Tyson had to play 37 minutes tonight, and you see some of San Diego State's players are only playing 27 minutes a night or something like that. But that adds up over a whole season, you wouldn't believe. I mean, I'm looking at this right now. Matt Bradley finished. He played in 39 games this season. He finished with 1,032 minutes, and Darian Trammell barely passed him with 1,034 minutes this season. So Darian was the top minutes getter for San Diego State this season with 1,034 minutes, right? And you look at that, and Max Rice played 1,170 minutes. So, Max played
5 or 6 less games.
136 more minutes than Darian did, despite playing in 5 less games. He played in 5 less games, but essentially almost played 4 more games than Darian did, who was the top minutes getter at Boise State or for San Diego State. So I don't know if that's hitting the perspective that I'm trying to provide, but you look at Max and Tyson was barely behind Max in minutes played by 5. So and even Chibuzo Abo was up over 1,000 minutes. I mean, these are all guys who would have darn near led San Diego State in minutes played, despite the fact that San Diego State, played almost 3 weeks longer in the season than Boise State. So it's just they need to find some depth. I mean, that is what it is. It's no secret. Tyson said it. Leon has said it. Basically, everybody has said it. And what they did was respectable. But you could see how there was a lasting effect on accumulating effect on how many minutes that they were logging throughout the season. And eventually we talk about injuries and all that stuff, BJ, like we can make it hard or we can make it pretty simple, and you can see the usage. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's interesting. You go with like the quote starting 5s or whatever. Like you may have taken more guys from Boise State than San Diego State, or at least would have been close in terms of the starting 5, or if you're drafting players,
yeah.
But it quickly would swing in the favor of San Diego State for like 4 through 8 or whatever. I mean,
yeah.
It is kind of what would you rather have, the quote unquote better star power at the top, or the much deeper overall better team, which I think over the course of the season probably does help you out, especially in a tournament situation. And San Diego State, this is nothing new for them. They've been doing this for years. And again, they have a bigger basketball budget. They're recruiting to San Diego. They have a sellout arena every game. I mean, it's, they've been the best team in the Mountain West for a long time, Jay. And this is, I think this run to the championship, validated what they've done the last 10 plus years in this league and nationally, and they've been snake bitten a little in the tournament like Boise State has. They got gypped when the COVID year happened in the league. The tournament got canceled. They would have been a number 1 seed. Remember, they had Malachi Flynn and all those guys, Matt Mitchell. They were like 30-2 or something that year. So I mean, this isn't like the only time they've had a good team. This wasn't even their best team. It was just the one that things fell right for them. And they played Furman instead of Virginia in the second round, and things just fell their way. But by no means was this a fluke. This was a very good basketball team. It's a very good program. And I think that shows for Boise State, you just keep getting back to the tournament. You just keep getting back to the dance. You keep putting yourself in this position. Eventually, the breaks are going to fall your way. Your star point guard's not going to get hurt. The other team's going to have a rough night. You're going to play somebody in the second round that is not the team you're supposed to play because they lost, and all of a sudden you're in the Sweet 16. Like I know it's the for some fans that's a little hard to see because they're tired of the 0-9. They're tired of every year same story. Oh, just wait till next year. But I truly do believe the San Diego State run shows that all it takes is just keep getting there, and at some point, if you keep getting there, even if it seems so far away, like it's not going to happen, Jay, I really do think a team like Boise State can break through.
I agree. I mean, it took, San Diego State and Steve Fisher over a decade to get their first NCAA tournament win. And I know we're over a decade into the Leon Rice era at Boise State, but you feel like they still have the room to make these necessary adjustments that are perfectly attainable. And, I think we've already seen the benefits of increased chartered flights and some of these things, more coaching staff. Because a couple years ago, Boise State simply basically couldn't win in March, and now they are winning in March, but they're on the cusp of doing something even more special. And so, by getting more coaches and a video guy and more chartered flights, we have seen the benefits of this pay off at the end of February, in the beginning of March. We have the last 2 years. You can't dispute that. But now you look at the next adjustment that can be made, and again, it's making sure that your starters aren't over. I mean, like I said, there are a couple guys that are unique. I mean, I don't think I'm taking Tyson Dagenhart or the way Max Rice is playing. I'm not taking those guys off the floor if I don't have to. But to be able to spell them for a few more minutes a game and keep those minutes down, maybe even we're talking about a few less minutes in January, BJ, like to try to be able to keep those minutes down a little bit so you're not just upwards of 1,200 minutes played by the time the NCAA tournament tips off. And that's just, that's a lot of minutes, man. That's a lot of minutes. And so to be able to try to manage that by adding a little depth, you can see it happening. Like, it's very easy to see it happening that Boise State is well equipped to take one more step and go get this thing.
And not to say it's related, but Boise State did lose 4 of its last 6 games. If you want to talk about depth and tired legs and things like that down the stretch, they did struggle a little bit down the stretch. And I think all of that is related and all that comes together. Speaking of basketball, speaking of Tyson Degenhart, Jay, RJ Keene, Tyson Degenhart, they are confirmed for the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament. And also we announced on social media yesterday, happy to announce here too, some of the coaches, Tim Duryea, Mike Burns, David Moats, Michael Johnson, all committed as well. So you want to meet Mike Burns, and maybe we can have that be a raffle item where Mike Burns can just berate you like he did Lucas Milner after he missed a play or something last year. But
does the loser, the winner of the raffle get that?
we draw every ticket in the last one. You get 30 second rant from Mike Burns. But
I gotta say, BJ, I might pull out of the tournament and just follow Duryea and Burns around the course, though, because that would be 4 hours of entertainment, man.
Yes, that'll be a lot of fun, and they'll be randomly put in some groups, so you have a chance to play with them, have a chance to meet them, and again, Burns, Duryea, Moats, Johnson, hopefully some other announcements. The head coach may be here in the future, but we're kind of spacing these out. But we also announced, Jay, the afternoon flight, so we're going to have a second flight in the afternoon, so sales are going very well, and we're excited about this. We're going to raise a lot of money for the Idaho Youth Sports Commission, and if you're able to, we'd love to have you join us in the afternoon. You can work a half day and then come out and play. You can have the lunch. You still get the Q&A with everybody. You can meet everybody, and then when you'll just start your round after that around 1:30 or so. So BroncoNationNews.com, click golf. We're selling registrations fast, so sign up before we sell out, and really looking forward. Someone says no Lexus Williams. Working on that. Don't think Lexus is a big-time golfer, but maybe we'll get him out there to do a little meet and greet with folks. We'll see. But Jay's going to be out there. That should be big enough, right? I shouldn't have to have all these coaches out there. If Jay Tust is playing in the tournament, that should be enough.
I don't know if I want Lexus to show up. He's an athlete. He's probably going to show up and never
apparently, Michael Johnson is a heck of a golfer, like a 2 or 3 handicap.
See, that's what I mean. I bet you Lexus will be like the same thing.
Yeah,
I need a chance of winning this thing with the crew over at Atkinson's, BJ. It's fun.
Well, one of them won something, didn't they? Closest to the pin or long drive or something.
One of them did. They're actually, Chris is like a really good. They had some really good golfers in that family.
It's pretty rare when Jay's in a foursome and he's not the best golfer, but that apparently happened.
No. That often happens.
Well, looking forward to it, June 2nd.
Yeah.
Jay, we started late, so I appreciate it. We'll try to get it out of here. I told you I'd cut it short. I cut it 90 seconds, a whole 90 seconds less than usual here. But
there we go.
Appreciate you, Jay, for coming on. Sorry again, everybody, for being a little bit delayed. BroncoNationNews.com. Subscribers may want to be checking their email a little bit later today. You never know what's coming. For the paying subscribers, little tidbits and things that we try to do to take care of the subscribers. So have a great Tuesday. Off season's officially here. Jay, we'll focus on the spring game on Friday as we get set for spring football on Saturday in the spring game. But Winston Venable will join me tomorrow, 9 a.m. Make sure you watch KTVB. They got you covered with all the football spring stuff as well, KTVB.com. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.